The beginning of the Greek world. At the beginning, there was nothing. Chaos. And from chaos came Gaia, or Gay. You might know her as Mother Earth. But Mother Earth was sad. She needed love. So she created my Uranus. Yeah. And together they had many children. First were the Titans. Oceanus, Coeus, Creus, Hyperion, Iapetus, Thea, Rhea, Themis, Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Tethys, and Cronus. Really hard to say. They were beautiful and wise. They had the power over time, and Uranus loved them. Next were the Cyclopes. They were big creatures that looked like humans but only had one eye. There were originally only 3 Cyclopes. Their names were Brontes, Steropes, and Argus. They had the power over the winds and storm. They would soon give their power to Zeus. Uranus hated them. Lastly, were the Hecatonchires. I have no idea how to say that. They were inhuman beasts. Legends say they only had 100 eyes, hands, and 100 heads. They were 3. Well, this is quoting. They were 3. Briareus or Aegeon, the vigorous or the sea goat. Codus, the striker or the furious. And Gyges, the big limbed. The natural forces that were represented by the Hecatonchires were the earthquakes and the huge sea waves. Uranus hated them. Uranus threw down the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires down into in a large pit called Tartarus, trapping them forever. Mother Earth was sad. So she sent forth a sickle and told her eldest children, the Titans, to reach it. All failed but one, the youngest one, otherwise known as Cronus. He grabbed the sickle and used it to slice up his father. He cut off Uranus's wiener and threw it into the ocean. From the sea form, Aphrodite was born. She is the eldest goddess. Cronus then became the ruler of the universe, and kept his hideous brethren inside of Tartarus. He also made his sister Rhea become his queen. Gaia was mad at Cronus and told him that one of his children would rise up against him and kill him like he killed his father. So with all of his children being born, he ate them all. But his last child was hidden on Crete by Rhea. Crete was a small island, away from Cronus, and was able to hide for a long time. At one time Zeus was of age. He was told to go to his father and get Zeus's brothers and sisters out. He was given a plant type thing, which Cronus was supposed to consume. So Zeus went to Cronus's throne and at the center of the earth. Zeus succeeded. His brothers and sisters came out of Cronus's mouth, first being Poseidon, then Hades, then Hera, then Demeter, and finally the eldest, Hestia. They all became the gods. They got powers and declared war on the Titans. The Titan War. The Titan War lasted 10 years. There were many different fights with the 6 gods and the Titans. There are actually some defectors. Prometheus and Themis fought with the gods and fought their brethren. Mnemosyne, Themis, Oceanus, and Hyperion didn't fight. The rest of the Titans fought the gods in a horrendous war. It tore up the ground. After a long wait, the Titans lost to the Olympians, and Zeus became the ruler of the universe. He banished the Titans to Tartarus and made the Hecatontires their guards because they had grown used to the darkness. Prometheus would be in charge of creating humans and would be punished for giving us fire. And Themis gave out oracles until Apollo arrived. Themis was practically justice, the birth of the new gods. There was a time of peace, a time where the gods could populate. There became many gods like Nike, the goddess of success, and others like that, but there were some that were more important because they became the 12 Olympic gods. There were the original gods, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, and Zeus. But there was needed more. They got Aphrodite to become an Olympian, and that made 6. Zeus married Hera, and together they had Ares and Hephaestus and more. But only those two became Olympians. Ares became the god of war and bloodshed, and Hephaestus, he was special. He was born ugly. Even though Hera was the goddess of family, she hated him, so she threw him down into the sea. Hephaestus never learned how to walk, but he was raised by the Cyclopes, who were working in the forges under the sea with Poseidon. Hephaestus became the smithing god. Zeus married the child of the Titan Coeus, whose name is Leto. With her, Zeus birthed the twins Apollo and Artemis. He also married the daughter of Atlas, Maia, who he had Hermes. Hermes, from a very young age, especially for the gods, crawled out of his cave and stole some of the Apollo's precious cattle. He also made a lyre from a turtle's shell. Then he traded the cows for the lyre. Athena was a special case. Her mother was Metis, a child of Oceanus. Athena was originally a butterfly, and Zeus accidentally swallowed her. Like father and son, I guess. Zeus then got a headache, and Hephaestus cut open his head. And out came Athena, adult and fully dressed in battle armor. Out came the goddess of wisdom and war strategy. Now that is 12, but one god seems to be missing. Now this part of my researching Dionysus, was insane. So, Zeus marries Hera and has Ares. Zeus supposedly married Dione, who had Aphrodite, apparently. Ares marries Aphrodite, who are step-siblings, and also Hephaestus' wife, who is Ares' brother, but that's a whole nother thing to think about. And they have Harmonia. She marries Cadmus and has Semele. Then Zeus marries Semele, his great-granddaughter, and has Dionysus. Now that is confusing. We haven't even talked about the different types of goddesses and gods. So anyways, Dionysus is born. Now there are a bunch of different gods and goddesses. Like there is a war Aphrodite, but if I wanted to do all of that, that would take me a whole year to make this. If you want to know more about that stuff, research it and tell me about it. But those are the 12 Olympian gods as we know them. The Greek myths. I'm going to start out with telling the story of Troy. It was after the great tale of Hercules. Troy is a real-life city and was around even 3000 BC. Greece has been brought together between 800 and 500 BC, when Troy and Greece were both huge. There was a wedding between Peleus and Thetis, parents of Achilles. However, Cupid was not invited. Angry, he got a golden apple and threw it into the courtyard. The three goddesses, Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena, claimed the apple. They got Zeus to see who deserved the apple. They got Alexander, Paris, son of Priam of Troy. The goddesses all said they would give him one thing. Athena would give him great battle strategy. That would be useful. Hera would give him the kingdom of Eurasia. And Aphrodite offered the most beautiful mortal on the earth. Paris chose Aphrodite. But there was a problem. The most beautiful woman was Helena, wife of King Menelaus, or the king of Sparta. So, Paris got Helen, and she became Helen of Troy. Now don't miss Sparta. It is practically the ancient Texas. Sparta declared war, and all the city-states of Greece declared war as well. So here it is. Greece versus Troy. Troy had a 10-year siege it had to deal with. Greece had many great warriors like Achilles, who had dipped into sticks as a child and was impervious from harm, except for the heel. They also had Odysseus, the king of Cephalonia. The Trojans had no chance. The Greeks had an idea. A horse, made out of wood. Yes, the Trojan horse. They had made a vehicle that looked like a horse and held about 39 warriors. The Greeks went to Troy and sent this as a gift. Troy's front gate was too small, so they had to destroy some of it. Once the horse was in, the Greeks went and won the war. Some warriors went home and lived happily. Menelaus died. Achilles got some nice seal ornaments, and Odysseus got lost at sea. The Persian War. Now I'm going to do this quickly. The Persians wanted to take over the world. All of Greece banded together to destroy the Persians. They had many battles like the Battle of 300, which made Leonidas a hero. At the end, Pheidippides went from the city of Marathon to Athens to tell everyone that they won. After this, he dropped down dead. They decided to make a sport out of this. After the war, Athens took over the Delian League, the group that called themselves during the battle and used the money to bring in the golden age of Athens. Everyone was pissed, but especially Sparta, the great war city-state that lost their beloved Leonidas in the war. It got so bad that the Peloponnesian War begun. The Peloponnesian War. The Peloponnesian War was a bloody one. Everyone had felt the horrors of war. It was Sparta v. Athens. It took so long, but Sparta finally took over Athens. But Sparta was smart. Athens made many improvements, and they wanted more. So they had Athens keep going as a puppet city-state. The Roman takeover. The Romans were taking over. They were fighting the Carthaginians. That sounds right. And Greece decided to help. The Greeks were scared of the Romans, and the Romans decided to take over the Greeks. All of the city-states were taken over by 146 BC. And the reason why Sparta didn't win is because they were really tired because they had like a big battle. Now, that has been the history of the Greek world from the beginning to the Roman takeover. Please learn more about this great history.